adjust your mobile device. You have the Coarse podcast here, and while you may not be used to hearing my voice, because I am Greta Rosler, not Shawn Rosler, tonight I have the rare opportunity to interview Shawn Rosler, the host of the Coarse podcast, myself, right here in the beautiful Punta de Mita, Mexico. If you hear the waves in the background, that's because we're sitting by the ocean for episode 20, where the host himself gets the microphone turned around on him. So without further ado, even though I probably know a lot of the answers to these questions, you all probably do not. So we will get started right away. Good evening, Shawn.
Good evening, Greta. Thank you for having me this evening on my show. It's a bit of a turnaround, but I guess turnabout's fair play. For as many times as I've had people on the show sweat over questions, except for an upcoming guest, it's very nerve-wracking for me right now to be sitting here in this seat. I don't know that I love it. I think I like it, but I don't love it. So,
Well, you know I ask you questions a lot.
You do. Where are you? Where are the kids? Oh, not like that, though.
So, this should be nothing new for you. So, let's get started. So,
all right.
I'm not going to waste any time. You know me here.
Yes. Format of the show, just for viewers, listeners who are new to the program, there's 3 sections. Go on. They are starters,
mains,
and
afters.
The starters are where I came from. The mains are where I am. And the afters are, what do you look like in a thong, Shawn? Which I don't know. It's been a long day by the pool. I don't really even fucking care at this point.
So let me just start out by saying, before I ask Shawn any questions, I have to pay some homage here to the beautiful Punta de Mita. We are at Rancho Banderas Resort. It is absolutely gorgeous. We're listening to the Pacific Ocean. We've had a week of fabulous eating, so that will no doubt influence the interviewee's answers. However, we thought this was an appropriate place to do the podcast interview of him because there are no children interrupting us.
Exactly.
Nothing but the ocean.
Such a milestone, to be episode 20, looking at essentially season 3, if we're calling each 10 episodes a season. I wanted to make sure that I got in the seat, that I felt the way it feels, and I could not possibly imagine a better environment, let alone a sexier interviewer. So there's that. And I'm wearing the shirt. Just in case. I mean, we can't see. You're going to see pictures from the interview, but you can't see it, but I'm wearing the shirt. So.
Okay, so let's get started. So, we're going to start with starters. So, Shawn, where did you grow up eating?
I grew up in a small town in northeast Pennsylvania called Honesdale, Pennsylvania, which for those of you who are unaware, was founded by Philip Hones. More importantly to the nation's overall functionality, it's the birthplace of the American Railroad. And unfortunately, that's where kind of the, not functionality, but usefulness kind of slows down, because as far as food goes, it's not exactly what you call a food town. Couple greasy spoons, couple pizza places, when I was growing up, by the way. But beyond that, not a hell of a lot. So, there was that. Now, with that said, I grew up in a household where my dad had off Sundays and Mondays. I'll never forget this. He didn't have off Saturdays, but he had off Sundays and Mondays. And the reason why Monday is significant is because he cooked on Mondays. Now, cook could, in theory, go into quotes here, because what he made was usually sausages or pork chops or something like that on the grill, en la parrilla, because we're here in Mexico, along with some kind of scalloped potato, which was really good, but definitely, you knew what was coming every Monday. My mom was a health food nut before health food nuts occurred. And it definitely influenced what we ate. Definitely.
Now, you are jumping ahead here. I'm just going to tell you.
Sorry.
Now, the other thing is I need to interject because I know you. I need to provide some supporting evidence to your answers.
My ass already. It's fucking 5 minutes in and she's beating me up.
I would just like to say that while you are saying that Honesdale's food influence was fairly basic. I would say now, as an adult, we go there and find all kinds of awesome culinary things that you probably wouldn't have picked up on as a child.
Hands down.
When we go to Roman's, isn't it Roman's Deli?
Roman's is the Polish deli across the street from the bank.
Deli with the Polish meats and the pastrami sandwich that makes you want to melt into the floor.
And let's not forget Alleyway Cheese Shop, Kim Brgelski.
Yep.
Love you. Thanks for doing the show. Great place. So, yes.
The other thing I would say is when you say how your dad cooked on Mondays, I give mad props to your dad for cooking on Mondays. I think that's awesome because a lot of dads would never try to cook, and your dad always tries to cook. He still does. And,
he does. Yep.
And he does a good job at it. And so I think that's awesome that you knew predictably Mondays were the day that your dad made dinner.
Knew it. And I think that's probably part of the reason my father... My mom's a lot of the reason that I like music and dancing and shit like that. As far as cooking goes, I think part of it, at least a small segment of it, is because I knew my dad was going to cook, and we can turn around the table on you and say, hockey pucks. You knew if your dad was cooking anything.
No. That's a whole different. That's a whole separate.
Whole different scenario. But my dad. Yeah, my dad slayed pork chops and sausage on the grill. If it was on the grill, my dad had it on lockdown. And I knew I was getting that on Monday. Unless it was winter. Because then,
So what kind of an eater were you?
I was all right. I was weird texturally. Eggs got my shit, way out of whack. I couldn't do scrambled eggs up until... I want to say 9 or 10, and that's when I started putting ketchup on them. Okay, this is better. But the texture of them bothered me.
But you don't eat them now.
I do. I would eat them. If I had to eat them, I would eat them. I ate them as a choice throughout, high school. 9th grade on up. Now, today, here, for the past couple days, if there's eggs and stuff, I'll eat them. But the wobbliness, I wasn't a fan of. I hated that. I hated just jiggly food, which plays forward into my despisement of two things, which you love and the kids love, and they are
Jell-O
and
pudding.
I'm not going to fucking say it either. You say it. You take that.
I love pudding.
I hate it. It's horrid. Give me texture. Actually, just, what was it, 2 nights ago, the panna cotta. I couldn't eat it. I'm like, this is foul. And it wasn't that it tasted foul, it's that it felt foul.
Yeah.
It felt like, I don't know, some kind of guts in my mouth. I don't want that.
Guts.
Guts.
So, but overall, were you a picky eater?
I don't think I was. My mom made some wacky shit.
Like what?
And her chili, I'll never forget the Tupperware bowls. And I can still see them. I can still see the color, the texture, the scraping marks, which if you had these bowls growing up, you get these marks over time. The little, I'm going to scrape this bowl up. I'm going to eat the shit out of this. And there's, lines in it. But I'll never forget, man, my mom's chili, she dominated. She used to make chicken noodle soup, too, using, and I will never forget this, which is why, your chicken-esque soups blow my mind, too. She used a Mrs. Grass's mix, and it was a box mix. Box noodle, box seasoning packet. There was this egg that came with it. There was fucking egg, and I loved it. I loved dropping that in. I wanted to be the guy that dropped it in. But in retrospect, it was nothing more than basically buying an 8-ball from a Coke dealer. Here's some really compressed shit. Put it in your soup. And you did it, but it tasted awesome. But the difference was this. My mom would then take potatoes, celery, carrots, anything she could get her hands on, and put it in. And mash it up. And mix it up. And it was stellar. It was stellar. Granted, I've become a bit of a food asshole late in my life. Not really an asshole, but fair enough.
Late in your life? It's not like your life is almost over. Jesus.
Well, who knows? Who knows? We're flying tomorrow.
Shut up.
Sorry. But just having that extra effort, and I think for me, that's what made me look at food and go, wait a minute. So if I put a little extra effort forward, this shit can become mine. This can become me. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so I learned that from Rose. Thank you, Mom. Even though I've dropped the F-bomb like 10 times by now, you stopped listening. Thank you. Because it's because of you, I decided to explore beyond what is written on the page. So there's that.
Awesome.
So that's what kind of an eater was I? A good one. A good one, I think. Clearly, I'm fat enough. And I was fat enough through middle school.
So, is there a food that pains you to remember and that you wish you could have again?
1,000 times over. You said to me all day, don't think about the interview. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. And I didn't. I've never asked this question and not thought of Falcone's Pizzeria down at the end of Main Street. And their droopy-ass New York, runny, horrid, not horrid, but I mean just falling off the slice conglomeration of tomato sauce, mozzarella, or whatever else they did. Because I didn't know to ask at that point. But my God, I might sell a digit. I don't know, man. My left foot's pinky toe breaks so often. Take it off. I could do without.
You've told me about that pizza so many times, Falcone's
I would
pizza.
kill, and I've never had an equal. And my dad, if he hears this, because the liquor store where my dad worked was a block down, and I used to buy pizza from there all the time. He'd be like, it's all right. It's all right. I think about that pie, and I lose my shit. I literally cannot even begin to fathom the goodness. And it actually, my gym teacher from 4th grade was one of the guys that cooked there, Mr. Lombardi. And I've never had an equal. Never. In all my years. The place we went to in New York, where we got out of the cab, we were right there, we walked around the corner, we had pizza there, and it was like, here we are in Manhattan. Here's a pizza place. It's got to be good. I'm like, not really.
Yeah, I remember that.
Not there. So.
The pizza, it was good, but it didn't compare to what you're describing.
Yeah. No, not at all.
Okay, so, who was your greatest culinary influence growing up?
I hate that goddamn question. That's coming off the interview when I get home. I'm drinking, by the way. Don't be alarmed at the silence. I'm also buying time to think. Come on, fill space,
What?
interviewer.
Well, I don't know what to say. You didn't know me yet.
All right. Here's the thing. And I don't know if it's going to piss my parents off. And I don't really care because it's honest. It wasn't my mom. It wasn't my dad. It wasn't a grandparent. It wasn't... So many people come on the show and they're like, it was my grandma. I cooked alongside of her. The one thing I'll say is this to my mom. Grandma Jake, who is my grandmother Williams, who's my mom's mom, always let me do whatever the hell I wanted in the kitchen. And it kind of mirrors, what was it, slop? Was it that your grandmother would let you do?
Yeah, but we never ate slop.
Well, you never ate slop. So, I mean, I worked within the realm of the edible, but at the same time, it was cool. It was this, hey, look, here's a palette. Let's go with it. Let's see what we can make out of this. But I wouldn't consider that to be culinarily influential. If I had to say who it is, I would say several. I have to give you a handful. Is that okay? It's your interview.
Sure. You can give me as many as you want.
But how about this? I'll say my greatest culinary influence growing up was WVIA. Was public television. Jeff Smith, the frugal gourmet, Julia Child, bitch please. Martin Yan. Another Chinese guy, I can't remember. He was the other one. He was the one that actually preceded Martin Yan. He always had the apron with a different saying on it every time. So, all of that, and just anything, great chefs of the Northeast, great chefs of the West, great chefs of the South, like, all of these shows that were on PBS, where I think a lot of the normal children, big quotes, big hangers, normal children would say, oh, yeah, I grew up, I wanted to watch cartoons, I want to watch this shit, I want to watch that shit. Not me, man. I wanted to get up, turn on Jeff Smith at 8 a.m., which is when he fucking came on PBS, 8 a.m., Martin Yan was 9, Yan Can Cook was the show, by the way. Great Chefs of the Northeast, Great Chefs, blah, 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 blah. I mean, there was this huge block of great cooking shows, and I would watch it nonstop. So, I love my parents. I think they did a great job raising me to be smart in many different ways. I love my grandparents. I think they did a good job, too. But as far as culinary goes, it was public television that did it. That carried me through.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, when
She's
was...
like, shut up already. That's all. Have a hamburger, fatty!
So...
I'm going to totally undo your whole structure. This is what nobody else wants to do. To me, I'm sorry.
When did you decide that food was something more than simply sustenance?
That was exactly the same time that I started watching PBS. Because I realized, like, if cartoons are something that you can watch, and you can be entertained by them, and like, oh, look, here's the Smurfs, they're being Smurfy, and here's Thundercats, they're being Thundercatty. I don't know if Thundercatty's a word, go with it. I realized that, like, holy shit, if they're devoting hours of this wonderful box that shows me moving pictures to food, I don't think it's some trend. And keep in mind, you young punks out there, this is before Food Network even happened. Josh Valentine and I had a conversation about this. We're both fathers of 3 now. We had a conversation about, we were before the Food Network era. So, y'all want to jump on the Food Network tip, y'all can shut up. Well, we were on that shit before it happened, son.
I think the thing is that your mom's style is very basic, and so she gave you the foundation in a sense. But beyond that, you gained all that from your exposure to other things, from or eating at other people's houses, or going other places, or you talk often about when you ate stuff in the Virgin Islands, and
well, keeping in mind that was when I was 19, 20, so I...
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
When you're 12 years old, you're not thinking about food like we think about it today.
No.
You're thinking about, like, if I'm hungry, I eat quick so I can finish and go out and play.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you what, though. When I was 13 or 14, I want to say 13, one of the field trips we took up to New York, I want to say, there was a sushi section in the middle of... There was a sushi section. And... everybody else strayed away from that shit. They looked at it and they said, no. I looked at it and I said, clearly if they're selling it to eat, I can eat it and not die, and I might get some attention from this.
I remember you telling me about
I remember it was a California roll, which, I mean, let's be honest, that's the softball. That's the, that's the, do you want to play baseball? Here's a tee. Put a ball on it. Swing at it. It's really simple, but at the same time, for a 13-year-old, you're looking at crab in stick form, which is not really crab, by the way, for people listening that don't know, which I don't want to judge if you don't. It's surimi. It's a white fish, and it's painted, and it's pretty horrible, but it tastes good with soy. So, but to have that, and to eat that in front of so many other kids that looked at me going, what in the holy fuck are you doing? It made me go, nah, you guys are limiting yourself. I'm into this. I'm on this. Let's go. So, and as you will attest to, I'm hand motioning. You don't see a video. I'm hand motioning to my beautiful wife about the pig skin that I ate in the street 2 days ago.
It was repulsive.
It was gorgeous.
Well,
Sexy.
so let's move on to the main course.
Main course.
Mains.
So that's where I was.
So where do you currently draw your culinary inspiration from? Currently.
My God, I hate this show. I don't want to do this anymore. Everything. Like, a lot of people answer everything to what is, that whole, like, what is food to you question. They say everything. I draw inspiration from everything. Like, when I go back, as I'm cooking on the grill, or a la parrilla, as it were, I'm going to have my sweet-ass bamboo mug out with me. I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to go, oh, wait a minute, I want some serrano, or I want something, just a little acidity on my stuff, because of where we were. So I don't know. There's no one place, there's no one thing, there's no one concept. I draw my inspiration from, I think a lot of people draw their stuff in from where they've grown up, where they've been, and that kind of thing. I don't do that. I look at everything there is to look at. And there's so much inspiration. There's no way that you can limit yourself and just say, oh, my mom's cooking. Well, I mean, if you say that, great, but not me.
Well, can I just interject something here? Because since it's your wife who's interviewing you and hosting this, I have the liberty of knowing you and knowing some things. And I think some of your present inspiration is drawn from you are very malleable in the sense of being inspired by whoever you're cooking for. So when you have somebody coming over to the house, if we have friends coming over, you try to think about a menu that person would like, and you're inspired by them.
Yeah.
And I find that very interesting about you. If you're cooking for me, you do that for me. You do it for guests. You do it for...
How about your omelet?
You do it for parents. You do it for everybody. So I would say, if I had to answer that for you, because that's what
you might as well do.
That's what wives do. I would say your current inspiration is very driven by who you're cooking for in the moment.
Yeah, it's a la minute on a personal level.
And I think that you have now amassed a fair number of friends that are chefs and contacts that are chefs, and you know about them and you read about them, and I think that also inspires you because you really talk about what other chefs have talked about in their podcast, or what maybe our good friend Gary Vatican, there's a plug, Gary, what Gary talks about in terms of food, and I think all those things continue to inspire you presently.
Yeah, I've always, I think if there's one thing that kind of drives it, and maybe this is being a bit, not pedantic, but not immature either, but I mean, the whole thing that I say to you a lot, like, I just want everybody to like what I'm doing. Whether it's the show, whether it's the food. I want people to like what I'm doing. Like, I enjoy that. And so if I can custom tailor food, the very sustenance of the human species, to a person to make them like it even more, why would I not?
Yeah.
It's extra effort. I stay up later, but what do? I stay up later for, making things gluten-free, making things vegetarian, making things, I'll stay up late. I'm good with that because that makes me happy to see their face light up and go, holy shit, you made this for me. That's what it is right there. Holy shit, you made this for me. For me. And it's other people are eating it, but the person that it was really directed at knows it from a second in.
So what would you consider to be your greatest culinary creation?
You. I would consider my greatest culinary creation, and don't you interrupt me. When I first met you, you were mortified of cooking. You were setting bagels on fire in the Commons. True story. You didn't want to touch a fish for fear of killing somebody. That's also true. And so, holding your hand with the strength of mine, and yet feeling the strength of yours, I feel like I created culinarily a monster in the best possible way, and I love it. I love it. I love the culinary counterpart that I created. At least in part, believe me. Your mom had some shit to do with that.
Oh,
But I think if left solo, I don't know if you would have taken it and run with it the way you did with me. I think having somebody who fostered that interest made you the dominant freaking beast you are right now in the kitchen. Like, I like taking direction from you. I don't like taking direction from many people. But you, I'm like, honey, how do you want this celery? Now, admit, what do? I show you one piece. I say, is this good?
Yeah.
And what do? On my cupboard, do I put that up the upper left?
Yeah.
And I make every piece just like that. So.
Well, okay. So besides me, thank you very much. What's your thing? Your food culinary?
My thing that I made
that you're most proud of?
The brown butter omelet.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Because nothing. Listen, when you can. Dr. Carl Kopp, one of my professors, said you can have 2 out of 3 things. You can have it good and cheap, but it won't be fast. You can have it good and fast, and it won't be cheap. You can have it fast and cheap, but it won't be good. The rule for anything. However, the brown butter omelet, once you've embraced the mentality of it and know how to make it, I can do all 3 in one. And so for the satisfaction that it garners, the taste that it carries, and the speed in which I can make it in, I make that in under 3 minutes every time.
I'm getting hungry for it as you speak.
Well, why don't we go grab some eggs? They're real, by the way.
Okay, so how about, what do you think, in your opinion, is the next big thing in food?
Farm to table. Farm to table, I can't plug it enough. I need to, everybody that knows food needs to acknowledge the fact that farm to table needs to happen. Sustenance needs to happen. We're running out of shit in general. We can't sustain these mass farms of beef, chicken, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be eating bugs in the next 20 years if we don't start to acknowledge the need for lessening the amount of protein on the plate and being smart about it, being local about it, being wise about it. The name of the place eludes me right now. There's a new farm to table sprouting up in Bloomsburg.
The blind pig.
Blind pig.
Not blind pig, the fat pig, or
something along those lines.
Something pig.
Yes, something pig. Something pig. It's on Iron Street in Bloomsburg. Check it out. Make sure you check it out. These are the places we need to be funding, paying, fueling, along with farms, man. Know your farmers. Know what's up. The fruit plates that we've had here in Mexico, I guarantee you, aren't from more than a mile up or down the fucking road. Now, that might not sound like much to people just listening, but think about that. The farmer's getting paid, the restaurant's getting paid because they're getting it at a lesser rate. Everybody works out. Do it. Buy from your farms. Forks Farms in Bloomsburg. It's not Bloomsburg.
Well, it's like Orange Benton.
It's like Benton, Orangeville. Todd Hopkins. She's amazing. Get all your meat, get all your shit from there. Please, do it. Tons of other stuff, too, by the way. More to come on a future podcast. Maybe I'll interview her.
So what is the current culinary trend you wish would just go away?
Wow. It turned me into an asshole in like 2 seconds. Molecular. Wiley Dufresne retired, and I want to get him on the show, to be fair. I really do, because I think he's a real interesting guy. But foams and eggs and layers and clouds, stop. Give me functional food on a plate. And nothing will illustrate that more to you than if you come to Mexico. Look at your plate. It's a little ugly. It's a little ugly. But it's ugly in a good way.
I don't think, you said that before, I don't think the plates here are ugly at all. I think they're gorgeous.
I should rephrase. It's not necessarily ugly, but it's not like crimped and cream with tweezers and shit like that. And actually, an interviewee coming up soon will reference the whole tweezer fad going by the wayside. So maybe tweezers in addition to molecular needs to go. In any case, if I can choose two answers there, molecular has to go. It's. I understand it was cute. It was cute in 2005. Richard Blaze, brilliant human being, awesome human being. When I eat a bite of peas, I don't want to snort smoke out my nose. So I'm good. The other thing then is pretentious fucking plating. I don't need layers to appreciate my food. I need food on a plate that is relatively clean. There's a clean rim on the outside. And give me a direction. Like, if you want me to eat in an order, give me some way to know that. If you want me to eat in combination, give me some way to know that. But don't fucking worry about a pea frond not being on top of the steak in the right way. Stop.
Okay. So.
I'm so angry now. Thank you.
What's next for you? What's your culinary 5-year plan? I mean, this is a little, your culinary 5-year plan is going to be making more peanut butter and jellies.
Yes, the boys love them. No, let me turn that into the podcast then. My 5-year plan is honestly to either release this in book form or digital form somehow, because I think it's an interesting format and people don't look at food in this way. Ideally, with some friends that I have on Facebook, I'd love to somehow see a normal, like a regularly scheduled web show come out of it. Maybe even a network pick it up. I'd love it, but as I've said several times to you, I don't want to make money off this show. Like, that's not my gig. I love it. I love it too much. I think any true artist, when they make something, i.e. food, as many guests will tell you, I don't think they want to turn it around into some profit-devouring machine. And I don't. I don't savor that thought. I would love to do this for a living. This is true. And I would obviously have to make some money out of that. And so if a channel were to pick it up, great. Bravo, if you're listening, do it. NBC, if you're listening, do it. I talked to NBC. There's that. But I don't know. I literally want to keep doing this show. I want to hit 100 and just have fun with it and just make people laugh, like I make my wife laugh because I'm fat and stupid.
Stop it. Okay, so.
But it's true.
Afters.
Oh God, we're on to this now?
Okay.
I hate this interview. Oh my God, this is horrible. What am I doing wrong? Alright.
Okay. So now that we've heard about your culinary 5-year plan and what built you as the...
Yeah, and by the way, you bring up a good point. Make peanut butter jelly sandwiches for lunches, blah, blah, blah. Yes, of course, I'm going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Because you're going to keep going to sleep at 7 at night and waking up at 3 in the morning. Because you're like that. Always crazy like that.
So, if I'm standing in your kitchen, this is the afters now.
Oh, you're going to hate this answer.
If I'm standing in your kitchen, what music do I hear?
Are you with me?
Well, you can give two responses, if I'm with you or if I'm not.
Well, if I'm with you, if you're with me, why don't you answer that for me?
No, it's your interview.
But it would be your choice, so go ahead. Go on.
Well, you ought to know what my choice would be, so answer
Yeah.
it.
Whoa! Somebody's sleeping on the couch tonight. So that'd be like Hall & Oates radio, 80s radio.
Or, like,
as I like to call hellacious.
Stevie Wonder.
Oh, even better.
We listen to, like, Jack Johnson sometimes.
No, that's when I pick it.
Nuh-uh.
Uh-huh.
We listen to Jack Johnson. Occasionally in the
You're
summer.
asking me, like...
In the summer
how do you want this thing to go?
In the summer when we're, like, cooking out and stuff, we listen to a lot of, like, Blake Shelton.
That's totally different. That's totally different. So if it's you and if I'm happy with the music selection, let's quantify that. It's going to be something somewhat current day country, actually, because I enjoy it. Oddly enough, I never thought I would. Oh, three boys, apparently. That happens. And there's that.
But
so
if
yeah,
I'm not there...
if you're not there, what am I cooking? See, this is where we have to quantify it a bit more.
You tell me.
No. Well, what am I cooking?
If you're making dinner...
Yes. If I'm making dinner, where am I making it? On the grill or in the kitchen?
In the kitchen.
All right.
Don't make this so complicated.
One of the first...
Just answer the
Heavens, please, stop yelling. One of the first things I think of in the kitchen, even if I were in a professional kitchen, Beastie Boys, somehow, some way. It would just have to be Ill Communication era, Green Album, Checkerhead era, perhaps, Public Enemy, that whole kind of vibe that just thumps. Like, you feel the thump hitting you from the ass and the back, like, move that plate, bitch, before somebody gets hungry. And, you know, for me, it's 3 kids and a wife, and the wife I'm worried about, because if she's hungry, I'm not going to make it. But the kids, I can threaten them. I can't threaten her. So, I don't know. So like, the Beastie Boys, Public Enemy, you know, kind of grunge-ish early 90s shit for me. Yeah, that'll be it.
Yeah, that's definitely not on when I'm in there.
Of course it's not. Of course it's not.
So what's your mouth like in the kitchen? Movie rating. What's your favorite curse word or phrase?
Watch this. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to let my wife answer this. Go ahead, honey.
Well, I don't know. I would say the F word. You just say the F word a lot. I don't know.
Okay. So, we have to qualify first. We're qualifying now. The kids are not around, correct?
Right.
Okay. If the kids are around, I am in control. I might bite my lip, like hiss through an F, like, and go through it. If they're not around, my mouth is atrocious in the kitchen. It's horrible. It's
like,
horrible.
what's your favorite word?
My favorite word is not a word necessarily. It's a phrase. And it always ends in that filthy C word. For me, if I'm going to spit it out and be nasty about it, the C word is the end game. I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to. Listen, I've said fuck repeatedly. And my mom's going to hear this and she's like, oh, I didn't raise him to be like that.
So,
Which is true. But for me, like when I'm really angry or when I'm trying to move something over, if I'm calling something, it's a blanking C word. The C word is so filthy and nasty and just mean, and it's not meant to be somehow, you know, maligning against a gender at all. Like, I would call a male the same term as anybody. So it's not that, it's just the word that is the nastiest, meanest thing possible.
So, okay. See, I hear you say so many curse words in the kitchen, I don't even know
what do you mean? What the what?
I don't even know what the favorite one is. No, what the favorite one is. So next question. You're going to be stranded on a deserted island. What 3 food items would you bring?
Okay. qualifying question for this question. You have to answer this because I'm not in control now. Could I survive off this the rest of my life?
Just answer the question.
You can't handle the truth.
You have to make up the reality of the question.
All right. And are there other food items on the island?
You tell me.
Come on! Go with it.
If it's a deserted island, probably not.
Maybe there's creme fraiche. I don't know. Okay. 3 food items. Beer. Beef.
So, before we get to the third item, you'd have colon cancer.
Well, at least I die with something. So beer, beef, and bourbon. Fuck it. Like, listen, if I'm gonna go, like, if I can't sustain my life on that, beer, beef, and bourbon. Whatever. 3 Bs.
Wow.
Done.
Okay.
Done.
Well.
So I can make a fire. Now, if you could sustain the rest of your life on that, I would say olive oil, bacon, and oranges.
Why oranges?
It's vitamin C, I think. I don't know. Go with it!
That's funny. Okay. So, the Dunea question.
What kind of an interviewer are you?
What would your last supper be?
Give me the sub questions. Help me out here. Walk me through it. So, like,
what would the music be?
Okay, the music. The music would be
Iggy Pop.
Ooh. This week's not fair for that. Maybe. It might be Beastie Boys. It might be ska. It might be something just. It might be classical. It might be what's the blind Andrea Bocelli. Time to Say Goodbye. Like as the last track, it might have to be that. It might have to be that because there is not a better penned song to say "piss off, mortal coil" than that song, and it is brutal. I mean, it is. If you can listen to that song and not think of your own mortality, I give you credit. I give you a whole shit ton of credit.
And what would you eat?
What would we eat? So for starters, carpaccio. Carpaccio of as many kinds as humanly possibly made. Beef. Fish. Even a little, like, veggie carpaccio. Kind of a fun mix-up on that.
With, like, a vinegar?
Yeah, for starters. Along with Gary Vatican's Caesar salad.
Yeah.
Because that's friendship right there, man. Oh shit, here we go. Wow.
And what else would you eat?
So that's the starter course. The mains would be just unapologetic New strips. Not trimmed. Stop trimming. Enjoy it. Devour it. Along with as many large Falcone's pizzas as needed. In addition, it would just be just an unapologetic smattering of horse shit.
And what would you drink?
I would drink scotch and water. I would drink beer. And I don't know that I can even bring myself to name, like, brands. Guinness, Brewers and Water, Petite Syrah.
That's a lot.
Where am I going? What am I doing tomorrow? Nothing.
What would you eat for dessert?
I wouldn't. Because that would signify that I accepted the end. and I wouldn't accept the end.
Who would be with you?
There's two answers. And for as much as you said to not prep the question, there's two answers to this. One is the whole, my family, my friends, and everything like that. And I totally agree to an extent. I think, that's what it's about. On the other side of it, nobody. Because I don't want anybody to see me going out. So I would
They're not saying you're dying during the meal.
It's your last meal. It's your last meal. You're going out. You know that. You have to accept that. So my solid answer would be nobody. I would eat alone. And for as much as that bothers you when you hear about me eating alone, I think you come into this world eating alone. Let me go out of it one last time. Enjoying what I enjoy. And not bringing anybody else down. That's me.
Okay. That's awesome. Not awesome. I mean,
really uplifting.
So,
way to go, Shawn.
Finally, in one word, Shawn, what is food to you in a single word?
Air. Air. Because you can look around you and not see it. You can feel around you and not feel it. You can not acknowledge it, and it's still there. But the fact of the matter is, there's nothing that does anything more to sustain you, to let you live, than food. Food is air. Food is the very air that surrounds you.
Okay. Wow. Well, on that note there, Black Sunshine, we are going to conclude our interview. Thank you for your time tonight, Chef.
Thank you, Chef. Chef my ass.
From the gorgeous Punta de Mita, Riviera Nayarit, I will hand over the microphone to my talented, fabulous husband.
And I suppose this is where I do indeed take over the microphone. Thank you so much, Greta, for being with me tonight and for hosting. You did a fabulous job. It made me horrendously uncomfortable, which I hope is the same effect I had on everybody else who's done this stupid show before me. So, thank you.
Nobody else you need to plug?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You. And so, this brings to conclusion episode number 20 of the Coarse Podcast. My name is Shawn Rosler, host, creator of the show. I'd ask if there's any plugs to go on, but since I just got interviewed, I'll just say, check it out. Coarse Grind Podcast on YouTube. My producer has been Johnny Lamoria Robinson, a.k.a. the Reverend Johnny Lamoria. Check his new podcast out, Cinematic Pig's Feet. And be sure to be checking iTunes out for the Coarse Grind Podcast. Coming soon. And before you know it, episode 21 will be on its way to the start of the third season. Not to give anything away, but it might have been a Top Chef champion. Be sure to check it out, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.